In the meticulously ordered ecosystem of Springvale Middle School, a place ruled by unspoken laws, cheap pizza, and the pervasive chemical scent of ambition and despair, Leo existed as a persistent, unfortunate error. He was a glitch in the social code. His face was a testament to nature's cruel sense of humor, a complexion that hovered between pale and ashen, a battlefield of angry red blemishes he attacked with frantic, futile potions and glasses, great, round lenses and heavy black frames that magnified his myopic eyes, making him look like a startled owl trapped in a locker room. His daily routine was a study in quiet endurance. Navigating the halls felt like crossing a minefield where the mines were named Brad, Chase, and Kevin. Brad, the tank Masterson, with his squadron of grinning sycophants, had elevated the art of bullying Leo to a form of performance. Leo was stuffed into his own locker, a tight metal tomb that smelled of old paper and fear. His assigned seat in homeroom was often gifted with a fresh, transparent pool of superglue, so that rising after the bell produced a soft, mortifying, ripping sound. In the cacophony of the lunchroom, his turkey sandwich would frequently vanish, only to be glimpsed peeking from the top of the overflowing trash bin. Leo's protest was a silent one. He simply absorbed it, a small, dark planet gathering the gravitational insults of larger bodies. Home was no fortress. It was a quiet apartment where his mother moved with the slow, careful motions of profound exhaustion, her eyes holding a constant, aching question he always answered with, "It was okay. Nothing special." Then, the anomalies began. Small, precise disruptions in the universe of his suffering. They weren't acts of kindness so much as acts of calibrated karma. The incident in the second-floor bathroom was the first major flag. Brad had Leo by the neck, steering him toward an open stall with grim ceremony. Just as Brad began his triumphant shove, a ceiling tile directly above the adjacent sink dislodged. It didn't just drop. It shot down like a projectile, smashing into the faucet with such force that the pipe sheared off. A vertical torrent of ice-cold water erupted, hitting Brad with the force of a fire hose, knocking him off his feet and sending him sliding across the wet floor. Leo, standing just to the side, was merely misted. The head custodian, Mr. Dobbs, was baffled. The pressure valve, it's like it was overridden, and that tile was screwed in. Had to be. The glue retaliation became legend. For a week, Leo's chair remained suspiciously, wonderfully clean. Then, on Monday, Brad arrived with what could only be described as a helmet of his own hair. It was a solid, glossy, immovable dome. The school nurse suggested industrial solvent. The barber called it a work of vandalism. Rumor had it the formula was a custom polymer that dissolved only with a specific, rare acetone. Brad was forced to wear a beanie for a month, earning him the nickname Beanie Baby from rivals, a blow far worse than any physical one. The true mystery was the voice. Locked in the pitch-black AV storage closet after a prank involving a misplaced tripwire, Leo felt the familiar creep of claustrophobic panic. Then, from a small grate near the ceiling, it spoke. The tone was flat, digitally generated, utterly calm. Thermal scan confirms one occupant. The rear shelving unit is on casters. Pull from the left side with maximum force. Terrified but desperate, Leo obeyed. The heavy unit rolled aside with surprising ease, revealing a dusty access panel that led into the school's network of maintenance tunnels. He emerged near the furnace room, his heart pounding not just from fear, but from a dawning, incredible suspicion. He started a log on his phone, encrypted. Event, extraction, method, remote guidance via intercom, knowledge, structural, hypothesis, not a student, not a teacher, a system. The pattern solidified. Chase's meticulously plagiarized history essay was somehow published on the school's public blog under his name. Kevin's attempts to hack the grading portal resulted in his own browser history, full of embarrassing searches, being displayed on the library's main projector during a study hall. The punishments were not violent, but they were exquisitely humiliating, perfectly tailored to the crime. They felt like the work of a sarcastic, technologically adept ghost. The climax arrived on the night of the fall pep rally. Brad, furious after his car was found covered in a delicate, nearly unremovable glitter that spelled bully in elegant cursive, decided on a final, unambiguous lesson. He and his crew cornered Leo in the old gymnasium's equipment loft, a cavernous space thick with the smell of moldering wrestling mats. They backed him toward the empty shaft of a decommissioned elevator, its rusty gate the only barrier to a 4-story drop. "Game over, glasses," Brad sneered, his voice echoing in the emptiness. "No little tricks here. This place is a dead zone. Your imaginary friend's signal doesn't reach." As if on cue, every light in the loft died. The darkness was total, a physical weight. Then, a new voice cut through the black. It was low, calm, and carried an authority that froze the blood. "You are incorrect, Mr. Masterson. This sector is served by a dedicated backup grid for safety compliance. I have visual and audio on your location at 98% fidelity, and I have just forwarded a compilation of your academic irregularities, along with security footage from the last 6 months, to the district superintendent and your parents. The file is quite comprehensive." A soft, blue-white light bloomed, illuminating the stern face of Mr. Hayes, the school's principal. He stood holding a ruggedized tablet, its screen displaying a thermal imaging feed of the room, their body heat glowing like angry ghosts. He looked not angry, but coldly, terrifyingly disappointed. Brad's bravado evaporated. The principal's knowledge was too specific, too damning. With mumbled curses, he and his friend shuffled toward the exit, defeated by something they couldn't understand. When they were gone, the principal approached Leo. The blue light softened the lines of his face. He looked older, weary, and in that light, Leo saw it, a small, familiar divot in his chin, a perfect match to the man in the single, faded photograph his mother kept in her jewelry box, the father who had worked for the government and disappeared when Leo was a toddler. "I couldn't intervene directly," Mr. Hayes said, his official voice gone, replaced by one rough with emotion. "The agreement when I came back. New identity, new life. This position was part of the cover. But watching you every day through these cameras." He gestured with the tablet. "Seeing what they did to my son. It was unacceptable." The world tilted on its axis. His father wasn't a ghost. He was the system. The principal was a cover, but the real man was a strategist, a hacker, a silent guardian armed with administrative access and a profound, pent-up fury. Life after that didn't become a fairy tale. Leo's skin didn't clear, his glasses didn't transform, but the air around him changed. Brad Masterson, now on severe probation, jumped at shadows. His personal devices developed a habit of playing audio clips of motivational speeches about kindness at maximum volume at random times. The automatic sprinklers on the sports field seemed to have a personal vendetta, activating solely when he took the lead position. For Leo, a new, strange education began. Notes appeared in his locker, not threats, but instructions, schematics for simple jammer circuits, tutorials on basic encryption, the chemical formula for a non-toxic but potent stink bomb. They were unsigned, but the handwriting was precise, technical. They never hugged in the halls. They never had a public conversation. Principal Hayes remained a distant, stern figure to the student body. But sometimes, passing in an empty corridor, he would pause, adjust a crooked poster on the wall, and murmur without looking at Leo. "Lab Assistant Simon is cleared." Code phrase is, "The forecast calls for clarity," and the compound in the false bottom of your locker. It's a new formula. Fast-acting, odorless, for defensive applications only. Leo would nod, a secret smile touching his lips. His life had become a bizarre fusion of genres. A high school drama overlaid with a spy thriller, directed by someone with a darkly comedic sense of poetic justice. His father wasn't just a principal. He was a master of asymmetric warfare, a system administrator of vengeance, and the architect of the safest, most strangely guarded fortress Leo could imagine. Fortress called Springvale Middle.